Alright, July 16th, little garden update. Here's my, this is the bucket garden that grows in the rain gutter. It's basically attached to that big old rain barrel, which due to the last rains has always been full. So anyways, that connects down here to this little float valve, which pretty much always keeps these this rain gutter at the same level that it needs to be. And then underneath here is how the roots get in sync with the water, or in touch with the water. This here is, it's called Fellenschluss, or speckled lettuce. It's going to seed here, so I'm gonna let it go. No more harvesting, just gonna go ahead and pick off those seeds once they bear. This is black cherry tomato. It's doing really good. Harvested lots of these guys. This is kind of what a ripe one looks like. It's kind of a purplish, reddish color. But they're super delicious. That guy's almost, I think that's a 7-foot stake, and he's getting there. So the next is a cutting of a red cherry tomato that I just propagated over. I see a red one down in there somewhere. Yeah. Next here is a Black Beauty eggplant. Lots and lots of flowers. First year growing an eggplant. As you'll see in the other garden, this one actually looks really good. It's probably 3 or 4 feet tall, but as you can tell, lots of big bushy flowers, especially for just growing in a little 3.5 gallon pot here of compost and stuff. I do have one that's actually starting to make. Hopefully all these other flowers are whatever, impregnated. Here's some Swiss chard. Got a late start on it, and it was looking crappy, so I just moved it out of its other container into this. Some Scotch kale that, now that it's hot, it's not having too good of a time. Over here is a yellow squash. Late start on this one too, but it's already, these are the first 2 squash. I haven't harvested anything off of it yet. And then here's that California Wonder Pepper. Got lots of little peppers everywhere. Got a red one over there and a couple more over here. Alright, over here's the asparagus bed. This is the first year for it. I do have a San Marzano tomato down here at the end just for grins, but it's not doing as good as the other ones. Over here I got some cucumber plants that I'm growing up the vertical trellis. All my squashes, cucumbers, everything is quite a bit later than probably what I should have, but oh well. They're starting to, I've harvested I think 2 cucumbers so far, and there's another one there, and I think I got another one down here. This is a Japanese long cucumber, so I think it's actually going to get quite a bit longer than that. That's about 10 inches or so. Tomatoes. I've been eating lots and lots of tomatoes. Here's the back side. These rows, these ones are actually not doing as good as the ones in the front, except for these 2 here on the end. This is right at 6 foot here, so definitely the tallest tomatoes I've ever had before. And as you can see, lots of red ones, lots of green ones, and lots of in-betweens. I've probably already picked, I don't know, I'd guess 4 or 5 pounds off of here so far. These San Marzanos are very prolific, very yummy, and they're a good canning tomato. I made them into salsa and some other stuff, but may do more of those in the future. Have a good canning. There's I think this is a black crim. You can kind of tell it's almost like that black cherry where it's kind of got a little scarlet, violety, dark green color to it. Over here is the other eggplant, so the one in the bucket is kicking this one's butt. It has quite a few flowers, but most of the flowers do like that and die off. I had peas, harvested a few peas, nothing great. Some beans, haven't harvested any beans. My basil is going to flower, so I'll collect the seeds off that once it's ready. This little red mini bell pepper plant produces tons of these little guys. They never get really much bigger than this. They're almost like a cherry bell, except they're very, very mild, just like a red bell pepper, just a lot smaller. Here's a traditional California Wonder bell pepper. Putting on quite a few little guys. Poblano pepper, I think that's the first poblano it's put on. There's another red mini bell. Over here, this guy that's grown up this bamboo stake is called Malabar spinach. It's kind of got a taste like spinach leaf, just slightly chewier. Zucchini, more cucumbers. And these are a pickling variety. My beets, haven't harvested any beets yet. Kale that got hammered by a flea beetle. Both the red Russian and this black Italian did. I've got this frost blanket shade cloth on here. After I harvested my kohlrabi, I planted beets underneath here, so to help keep it from drying out, I've got that on. Here's another red mini bell with lots of tiny little bells on it. Another red mini bell. This is I think an Anaheim pepper. I've harvested a couple off there. Another red mini bell. Another poblano with no poblanos on it. This Italian kale, it's really healthy. The flea beetles couldn't hardly touch it, so they tore apart the other two plants that apparently weren't near as healthy as this guy. Some more black cherry tomatoes. Lots and lots of clusters of tomatoes on this guy. And pole beans that sucked. Jalapeno that does good, but I can never get a jalapeno bigger really than a fat kid's short thumb. That blueberry isn't doing too whippy, and the other one in there died. And lastly, the raspberries that I planted. That top wire there is at about 2.5, 3 feet. So they pretty much started from about 6 inches. So they're doing okay. That one's all right. It actually looks like it's flowering and maybe gonna get some fruit this fall. And that one about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. First time we've ever got anything actually to grow over here. Pretty much laid down a few inches of mulch and put on a little drip system that isn't even on a timer or anything, but that seems to be the key. So that's it, July 16th, garden update. Thanks.